Hi everybody, Patty Ann here. Hang on just a sec. Okay, so what I'm trying to do today is, if you look up at my screen, Stacy, and by the way, I'm looking in Cricut Design Space with Patty Ann. It's a group. You want to make sure you come to the groups part when you're looking for that. But anyway, Stacy had asked a question. She had this thing that she wants to make into a tag. So if we look up here, let me get rid of that. Why is that box? There we go. We can see that she has said, okay, I need help. Just messing around with my machine and trying different things. This is probably basic to most of you, but I can't get it right. You know what? We all learn by doing these things over and over again, and I had to really play around with this for a little while before I could figure out how to help Stacy with this. So, and the way I learn is just like, if I were watching this tutorial, I would probably try to make something of my own while I was watching it or right afterwards. Not that I necessarily want to make a tag, but every time you try a little project, you'll learn a little something else. So anyway, she's trying to get her printer to print the words Happy Valentine's Day. Now let me read what else it says on my phone so I don't have to keep scrolling back and forth. So she wants it to write. Oh, she wants it to print from her printer, Happy Valentine's Day, and from Jaden. Then she wants to cut the other. And okay, well that, I didn't quite understand what you wanted to do. I did it a little bit differently. Let me show you what I did, and maybe you will like this. And if not, I'm going to go back to the drawing board and figure out how to print and cut. And actually, that's pretty easy. But hang on just, I think. Let's go to Cricut Design Space and see. So let me show you what I've come up with so far. I didn't know exactly what fonts you use, Stacy, so I just grabbed my own. This is what I got it to look like so far. And what's going to happen on this tag is your machine is going to cut this out and cut this out and cut this out. And then you're going to transfer it. Well, then you're going to make sure you have your pen in, because it's going to write this with the pen tool. So let me pause here after I say make it, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. The tag that I've designed is just 4x4. And as I said, first it's going to draw. So I'll put it on my mat. The first thing it's going to do is draw this Happy Valentine's Day and from Jaden. It's not going to print. I shouldn't say print. It's going to write with the pen that you've put into the pen tool. And I'll show you that in a sec. And then after it writes this and this, then it's going to cut out the circle and the XOXO. So let's pause here for a second and go over to my machine. Okay, over here you'll see I already have my Cricut pen in A and my cutter is in B. I'm going to just come over here and hit the button to load my mat. And remember what it said, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to draw. So let me hit the button. The font that I'm using is one that's on my Cricut machine. It's called Be Mine. And I'm not sure if it's one that's in Access or if it's one that's free to everyone. It looks like I could have adjusted the letter spacing a little bit better, but this is just a sample. Like, for example, see how far over the F is? I could have moved that closer. Now, after it's done writing or drawing these, it should cut out the circle and the XO in the center. Okay, let's take it out. Just bring it right here and see what we've got. There's the round tag. I have it on my too sticky of a mat right now. Okay, so the XOXO cut out, so that's not what you want. So, but, so let's go back to the drawing board. Okay, now that we're back in Cricut Design Space, let's analyze what went wrong. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. And so remember, this printed just fine, and this printed fine. The circle was cut out just fine, as was this circle. The problem was when I had this cut out XOXO. Okay, if you look carefully, you can see what happened. When it cut out this X and this O that are connected, this part right here fell out. There was nothing to hold it. And the center part of the O fell out. There was nothing to hold it in place. As did, I think there's another O, but I thought there was one more spot. But anyway, so now I have to put on my thinking cap. So hang on just a sec. Okay, as you can see, it has started. It has already done the drawing with the pen. And now it just did the cutting around of the circle for the tag. And now it's cutting out the X heart, X heart. And you can see I'm just doing on the same page I did my other test on. So it says it's done. Let me come out, come over here, and let's see what we have this time. I used it on a less sticky mat so I could get it off more easily with one hand. Okay, I think that's what you want, but I'm not positive because you said you wanted this and this on your printer, I think. But I think using the pen works really well. So I'm going to upload this one. I'm going to show you how to do it first right quick on Cricut Design. Then I'll upload this video and let me know if this is or is not what you want. If it's not, I'll go back to the drawing board. Okay, Stacy, this one worked. I'm not exactly sure if it's exactly what you want, as you will have noticed from the video that you just watched. But let me show you how I did this one in case you want to do one like this sometime. So the first thing that I did was I went over to the Shapes tool and I got a circle. And I left my circle rather large to work with it. And then what I did was I changed the color of the circle just because I don't like this color. So I came over to the Layers panel where the circle is. Notice it's a cut file, which is what we want. And I changed the color to white. Okay, the next thing that I did was I just came up here. Let's see, what did I do? Okay, I got another circle, so I came back to the Shapes tool and got another circle. And this time made it small, so it's proportionate to this tag. And once I had that circle done, I clicked on the tiny circle, held down my Shift key, clicked on the larger circle, which grabbed them both. Then I came over to the Layers panel to the very lower right. And you see where it says Slice? I'm going to slice because that's going to slice the little circle out of the big one. So grab that. I don't need it. Exit out. Grab this. I don't need it. Exit out. Now see how you can see right all the way through that tag? If I sent this to my machine right now, it would cut out this circle and then it would cut this one out of that larger circle. But you wanted some more stuff on here. Okay, so you wanted to add some text. So what I'm going to do is come to the Text tool. And up here, I'm going to use this drop-down arrow because that lets me see all kind of text over here. But more importantly, it lets me come over here to the filter. I'm going to filter it because the only kind of text that I want right now is writing text, because I'm not going to print it on my printer. And I think you wanted it printed on your printer, but I did writing first, so we'll try that. And then I can check or click, make sure it's on writing. I can click any of these that are in here. So I'll just click, I don't know, this one. Oh, I think I hate this one actually. A Child's Year or something it's called. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's cute. Oops, I have a capital A. Right. Okay, that looks pretty good, except for that's not the way you wanted it to be. You didn't want them to be left aligned like that. Boy, those dots are kind of weird. You wanted the alignment to be center. In other words, you wanted these, you know, all centered around one line here. I think that the text lines are a little too far apart, so I would come up here to line spacing and change this. I might start with like a -1 and hit enter. And that looks pretty good. I think I just might like to grab the day word by itself, but notice I can't. And the reason being is they're grouped, so I can click on it and come up here and ungroup it. Okay. And now what I can do is I can just grab these by drawing a box around them with my mouse and just move that up a little bit like that if I want to. Now if I wanted to, I could group these back together, which is what I should do. And then I'm going to make them smaller because they have to fit on our tag. So there they go. Okay, that's going to be written, or drawn is what our Cricut calls it. It's not printed on my printer. This is going to be written or drawn with the pen tool, or the pen that I'm going to stick in, which you've seen me stick in actually. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say from Jaden. So text tool again. And I'm using the same text so I know it's still a writing font. If I wasn't sure, I would use this drop down menu here and come over to the filter area, and I would filter it to writing. Okay, so I'm going to put some more text, and it's going to say from Jaden. Now, okay, that looks good. Now, one of the things I want to do is come up here and use the curve tool. And if you're ever not sure which way to go, just give it a try. Like, that's not right, but that way is right. Now I need to make it a lot smaller. Probably smaller yet. Maybe about like that. There, I like that. Okay, so we have Happy Valentine's Day and from Jaden. And what I'm going to do right now, before I forget, is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to attach that. If I don't attach these letters at some point, here's what's going to happen. We're going to go to Make It. And from Jaden's going to be here. And I'm not sure whatever happened to the other one. I guess it thinks it's a cut file. I need to cancel that. This should not be a cut file. This is supposed to be a write. So what I have to do now is come up here. I'm not sure what happened. I need to change these to a write. And you know what? I'm not going to do those individually like this. So I'm not sure what button I may have accidentally hit. Let's see. But some of those... Let me get rid of this. Let me type in Happy Valentine's Day again. Okay. So back to the text tool. Writing. Happy Valentine's Day. And again, I want to do the alignment and align them center. And I need to adjust them. And my line spacing, I'm going to do a -2. Whoa, that was my letter spacing. Look at that. That was not right. I'm going to do 0. Put that like that. That's good. And then for my line spacing, I'm going to make that a -2. And this is where I went to all the business of changing these, grouping them and that kind of stuff. And I think I still will, because I don't like how far away that day is. I'm going to ungroup. And I'm going to move this up. I'm not going to putz with all of them this time, I guess. Just that one. No, I got to do it. Got to move the happy down to just a hair. Okay, that's good enough. This is just a sample. So I'm going to take these and regroup them. Then I'm going to bring this back over here. And I need to take these guys and move them over. And I could make them a little smaller, I guess. Okay, so far so good. And now I am going to just go ahead and attach these. So let's see what's going to happen when we say make it. Okay, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to draw, meaning it's going to draw all of the text on here, and then it's going to cut. This I will hide. So let's go cancel so we come back and finish. Let me hide this guy right here or right now so we don't get confused. Okay, so now she wanted it to say X heart, X heart. So what I would do is I would come here, and this time I'm going to come over here to the filter. I don't want a writing one. I want maybe one that's a single layer. And I just need to pick any one of these for now. So I'll pick this one. So I'm going to make an X. I need to click in the box first. I'm going to make an X. And that's all I'm going to make so far. And then I'm going to come over to the Shapes tool and get a heart. And I'm going to size the heart so it's, whoopsie, so it's about the same size as the X. And if I want to, I can make it black. It doesn't really matter, so they look the same. So I have X, kind of an O. And what I could do is make sure they're the same. Let's see. Actually, I'll make it 1 inch high. And then I'll also make this one 1 inch high just to start. Then I can always change that. But to begin with, they'll be the same height. And then what I can do is grab both of them and then come up to the Align tool. So I'm going to align them to the bottom because I want them the same, on the same area. And I'm going to make them closer. Whoopsie. I'm going to make them closer together. Okay, and now I'm going to grab them again and come up here on the right at the top where it says duplicate. And I'm going to duplicate them. Put them beside these guys. And once again, I'm going to grab them all, come up to Align, and align the bottom because I want them to be nice and look perfect. I can make them smaller, bring them up here, and let's see. Oh, I've already attached that, so I can detach that if I want to because I'd really like that to be down a little lower. And I need to, okay. I had to send that to the back. Okay, so let's see, let me group those guys right here. So since they're on top of something, I need to just grab one, hold down my shift key, grab the next one, still holding down my shift key, grab them all, and then come up here on the top right where it says group and group them all. And that looks pretty good. She can fancy it up any way she wants to. Let me go to make it and let's see what's going to happen. Have we done everything we need to do? Let's look it over. No, look at this. What a mess, right? Let's cancel this. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to highlight all of this. Oh yes, remember I unattached it so I could move it. We need to attach this again. And now let's make it. Okay, it's all going to be made on one sheet. It's awfully big. I think I'll make it smaller. Notice up here it says it's going to draw first. So it's going to draw this text, and it's going to draw this text with the pen tool, and then it's going to cut. But let's go back and cancel. And I want to highlight all this, and I really want to make it smaller. It's too big. I wonder what would happen if I made it really small, like 2 inches. I don't know. I don't know if that'll turn out nicely or not. Well, the technique's going to work. Let's check it out and see what we get if we make it 2 inches. So I'm going to go to Make It now. And continue. Choose my device. And I'm going to do this, set the material again to cardstock. It still is. My machine's ready over there. I'm going to go finish the product, and I'll bring it back to show you how it turns out.